Welcome to Pull the Pin Already War Room. I'm Jim, here with me as usual.
Oh, I get it as usual, huh?
Yes, I have to go back to the as usual. Nate Dog,
This is Nate
welcome.
Dog. Hey, Jim, what's happening? How you doing today?
Oh, living a dream, you know me. Anytime we get to talk about the news, it's exciting.
Big news week this week too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is the same. You know what I mean?
Just
But
just just getting bigger.
mm, yeah, I guess so. I guess I guess that's what it is. It's the news is the same, but it's just more detail stuff.
Well, I guess we'll find out when you put this
So,
headline up.
so yeah, let's just go into that. Let's go to the first one. We're going to go right back to where all this stuff started. COVID infections plummet 90% from high.
Vaccines work.
You know that's going to be the story, right? It couldn't possibly be the
Prior
whole trajectory of a virus.
or the prior infection rate that
It
builds
couldn't be
immunity. No.
couldn't be any of that stuff. The vaccines clearly work.
And masks.
Right, and masks. Because it's kind of interesting because I even had a conversation today with somebody, and they still believe that they were wearing a mask and getting vaccinated for me, to protect me. You know what I mean? Not themselves, to protect me. Like me, not just me specifically, but me, other people.
I can't believe you would help protect them, Jim.
Well,
How selfish of you.
right? I mean, just think about it. Like, I didn't even want to get it for me. Why would I do it for them? Oh, but anyway, so that's
But
good news, right?
I mean, the only state still holding strong is Hawaii. I think they still have a mask mandate from what I
Yeah,
saw
an
today.
indoor one, they said. Yeah, it was an
Oh,
indoor mask mandate.
so
Yeah,
no state has
outdoor
in,
ones, like.
indoor except for Hawaii.
Well, no state has outdoor ones, but now
Right. Yeah, yeah.
let me clarify this because I was in Disney not too long ago. Hate to admit it, I really would hate to
That's
support that place.
that's Florida. They don't believe in masks in that state anyway.
Right, but in Disney, you had to wear a mask on transportation and inside the
In
building events.
buildings.
Yeah.
Well, I think that transportation is a federal mandate law, whatever you want to call it. On public
Mm.
transportation, you still have to wear a mask. I think that's still valid in any state too.
Huh. Okay.
So, like someone was saying, like Virginia, they were doing away with the masks in school, but the kids still have to wear masks on bus to go to school.
Right.
That makes sense.
Well, speaking of not making sense, check this out. U.S. State Department requires COVID-19 vaccinations for Americans fleeing Ukraine.
You can't come into the country until you get a vaccine or you die.
You can't
from
make
Russia.
this stuff up, right? Like, we can let everybody cross the southern border, not even
Without
bother
vaccines.
asking them their status or vaccines or anything.
Mhm.
But God forbid you want to flee Ukraine to come back to your homeland, you got to get a vaccine.
So is that the people that got stuck in Afghanistan? They didn't have a vaccine, so they won't bring them out during their evacuations.
Probably that's probably why. But the Afghanis were allowed to get on and not have a vaccine.
Well, that's because they climbed up the wheel wells and got into the planes.
No,
You got to be real. They require COVID vaccinations for fleeing. So Americans can't come back into America without a vaccine from Ukraine. But if I want to come in from Mexico as a U.S. citizen, all I got to do is take a test negative, and I can fly in without a vaccine. Makes sense.
I told you, man. I told you, you got a great business idea, man. We can close that border, that southern border, in a day if you start up the ferry boats going from Russia to Mexico. Just get them going. Get all those Russian immigrants down to Mexico. They'll be like, oh, no, we can't let the Russians in. We better close the border. Crazy, dude. Crazy.
Wow. You can't even make the headline up, Jim. That might be one of the most ridiculous headlines besides your last headlines of every week that I have seen you put up. That is.
I don't know. There's another one here today. You'll see.
Oh man, I told you it was a week. You've got to be kidding me.
But this isn't one. This is just kind of a ridiculous thing, not a ridiculous headline. Recalled San Francisco school board members blame white supremacy.
No, he got recalled because he's a moron. Was he? I don't know what the guy. I don't know what the race of the guy was. Was he a white guy that got recalled?
I think they were all really far left leaning liberal people. That's what they were. I don't know what color or race. I didn't care. Like most of us don't really care.
Yeah, me either. But I was just wondering if he was a white dude. He wants to blame white supremacy for getting rid of a white dude off the board. You know, that kind of don't make sense.
Well, it yeah definitely fits in the narrative. So yeah, I wouldn't be it wouldn't be far fetched to believe it because believe it or not, it's that's who you're talking about. Like me and Mike used to talk about this all this time. Like I don't
Who's Mike?
see
Who's
huh?
Mike? Who's Mike?
He's a big husky looking black dude that used to be on this show.
Oh, he quit or something?
I don't know. I haven't seen him, but he used to be. He used to be like my co-host.
Maybe he left because you called him a coerced.
Exactly. Well, he's called me a lot worse. But yeah, I mean, you just derailed my whole train of thought, dude.
Probably did.
Oh, whatever.
You were saying Mike used to say you were gonna go somewhere with that, but
Yeah, I mean, it's stupidity. It's just this whole white supremacy thing. It's just like racist. All these buzzwords, they're gonna get so played out. They're gonna mean nothing at the end of the day. Nobody's gonna believe any of it. So
half people are believing it. It's way overused already. People aren't falling for that crap that much anymore. It's people that are getting in trouble for stuff they're doing is trying to blame it on someone else and not taking their own blame. They're just trying to blame it on white supremacy, blame it on racism, blame it on this. Not me. I didn't do anything wrong. I got recalled, but it wasn't because of me. It's because of somebody else.
Well, you know what? We're going to get to that other stupid headline right now because you just segued it again.
Damn.
It's time to admit the obvious. Trump sure is acting like a Russian agent. And I put the source here for one reason. I have to tell you, I go to a couple websites, but when I go to MSNBC, dude, I can get all of my funny ones. The entire website is like 80% Trump. Like 80%. The man is not even in office anymore, but they're still talking about him all the time. And
you know why? Because, well, one, he's living rent free in their heads, and it's great for Trump to have that what egotistic about him that he can live in people's heads and not even be president. But I believe they're trying to bring all this stuff about Trump and trying to do all this stuff about him because they're scared he's going to come back in and run the country again.
Sure.
And not going to be not the way they wanted to.
Yeah, all of it's scary because if you think about it, that's what the whole January sex erection day was all about. It was all about that. If they had to get the word insurrection tagged to Trump because that would make him never be eligible to run again. That's why they're trying to. That's why that whole thing happened. And let me tell you, we could do a whole episode on that. And I wish everybody would go find the truth, how that was set up about the guy with the bombs. Did you see that? I don't want to go too far, of course, here, but
look into it.
The guys with the bomb. There was a.
I know. Yeah, planted a bomb supposedly.
The day before, right? They have no evidence. They don't even know who the guy is. So this guy somehow surpassed all surveillance except for the placements of the bombs. So he was a professional, right? Because he knew exactly where all the cameras were, but yet he placed 2 bombs that did not go off.
He was air assault qualified. He air assaulted in, planted the bombs, and air assaulted back out.
I'm sure even air assault would have gotten some sort of camera angle somewhere.
Yeah, you think a helicopter flying through the Capitol would draw some attention.
It's just think about it. Like even the bomb itself, it didn't explode. So you have all the evidence in the world right there. And they can't figure out who this dude is. You know what? But they can find grandma from a profile shot walking through the Capitol. Isn't it crazy? Like if people are this stupid to believe this, I mean, I didn't want to go on a rant on this, but dude, the government has been doing this to other countries for years. Why couldn't they turn it on us? Like, why wouldn't they turn it inside? Why couldn't they? People are just naive, man. They're just naive. So
but let's admit the obvious. Trump's acting like a Russian agent. I don't know what a Russian agent does, but what? I mean, I don't think he's spying on America.
Well, I don't know either. I mean, I was going to get me a Russian mail order bride and find out all the secrets of Russia. So
make it 2.
Yeah, good idea. All right. Well, speaking of brides, let's talk about wages. Wages only kept up with inflation for the wealthy in 2021.
Oh, you mean $15 an hour is not keeping up with inflation?
No,
No, you mean all that stimulus money we got is not keeping up with inflation?
nope. But all the
Oh,
big box stores and the wealthy people got richer.
hmm.
So
Imagine
small
that.
businesses shut down,
What?
small business people arrested, and the wealthy people got richer.
Someone got to build back better. The wealthy.
Yeah, yeah. They're this is why I said, like, this is why I do this. This is why I enjoy this show, because even if we don't have a lot of people watching, maybe somebody watching will get it. This is not about black and white. It's not about Democrat, Republican. This is all about the elites that think they're better than all of us and they think we're stupid. And some of us are. We are pretty stupid, because what do? We sit there and, duh, that's not fair. It's really about the people with the money and the people who don't have the money.
And allow it to keep on happening.
And then you get the people like, Elon Musk, I guess. He's very vocal with a lot of money, and he kind of disrupts things. You know what I mean? So they're trying to find ways to smear him. So he's not obviously in the club. He may be in the club because a lot of times they pull the rich people into the club, but he's not in the club.
I think he's wealthy, but you're right. He's not in that elitist club
Yeah,
because he's not. He don't conform to them.
right. And you can see them. I mean, and they write down the line. I often think about this stuff, and I think about like conspiracies. I'm like, well, if they're that big, there's no way you're not going to have a whistleblower. You're not going to have the bigger they get, the more odds somebody's going to tell, somebody's going to turn, somebody's going to. But then you stop and think about it, like the media. Media is getting their money from these big wealthy companies, or the government stealing our money. Like, so why would they tell? Because then they stop getting paid.
We've never seen the blacklist of Epstein or his girlfriend's people.
Right. And you saw his
The
partner
wealthy.
died in a France prison too, right? The same way Epstein did. Did you see that?
The girl, the Maxine Giswell, whatever her
No,
name
no, no,
is.
no, no. The one guy from France that he worked with.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Another suicide that was not on camera. Same way the other one went.
And securities prisons are. You think they'd have camera video
You know,
footage?
right? Like, why would you need camera footage in prisons? Like, why would you need that? Like, why would they need sheets? Right? Let's just not even give them sheets. Like, come on,
Just
man.
turn the heat up. You don't need sheets.
Exactly. Just give them a roommate. Let them snuggle.
Well, some of them do that. His name's Bubba.
As long as you get to be the big spoon, everything's okay. From what I understand, all you gotta do is say yuck when you're done. So speaking of corruption, check this out. I thought this was interesting. At least 17 lawmakers overseeing big tech have kids who work for the firms they regulate.
And that's a surprise to who?
Well, it's not a surprise, but
No.
But how often do you hear about it?
I want to see how many lawmakers have children in the military. How many have them serving the country as police officers? How many? No.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They're all doing this garbage.
But this goes hand in hand with the insider trading stuff and all that stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is the stuff that people need to see every day. They need to be reminded that these people that are stealing our money are getting filthy rich through insider trading. They're putting their kids in these. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is privilege. You talk about white privilege. It's not white privilege. It's just privilege.
Jim, they're not putting their kids in there. Their kids worked hard and earned a spot in these
I agree.
firms.
Right. Just like the big, was it Yale or something scandal with the people that were paying to get their kids in there and they weren't even qualified.
They were on sports scholarships that they never even.
Exactly. A sport they never played. Like, yeah.
It was rowing, wasn't it? It was rowing for whatever that Full House
Underwater
chick's name
basket
was.
weaving.
Yeah. But I'm surprised it's only 17.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably more than that. Yeah, it's probably more than that. It's probably all they can dig up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that's just kids. That's their direct family. They might have other, connections and siblings and stuff like that of their own, or uncles, cousins.
Cousins, yeah, exactly. Nephews, nieces.
Yeah. Because like, let's be fair though. Like, at some point, like, if you were a bigwig, you were important and you put in a word for somebody, there's a chance they might get the job because you put the word in, right? So, being fair, that's not a terrible thing, right? So you can't just say it's not fair, but the point is, this has got like what's the word? Conflict of interest written all over it. All
Oh,
over
definitely. Yeah.
I mean, it's not just a one-time thing. This is the pattern. This is what I was trying to explain to people. Like when I talked, I think we did talk about AOC the last episode. This is what happens. You get these new politicians that come in, and the entire establishment has their orientation. You know, AOC didn't get to go through the orientation. She got kind of dragged into it when she contested Nancy Pelosi, who is part of the big establishment. You know, she's a major player in it. She got indoctrinated through you don't do that here, or you're not going to get in on the big money, and your kids are not going to work for tech firms, and you're not going to, like, once they see the benefits that go beyond the real benefits, or the benefits they should be getting, they shut up. They play the game.
Yeah, she came in swinging, and now she's riding the bench and got put in her place. So,
because let me ask you a question. What does it take to buy you out? Like, you know what I mean? You and I might want to say, oh, well, nothing, never, you know, but what does it really take? You know, if I put you in a mansion, if I pay you this much money, you know, let your kids, what point does it take? Because I know people who will not quit their jobs because they're banking on a petty little pension. So if you're not going to quit a job you hate to maintain a pension, what happens when I dangle a carrot in front of you that's really nice?
yeah, if you can dangle a carrot that I can live in retirement nicely enough, what you need?
Exactly. I need you to tell everybody that the vaccines are working and the masks are effective. That's all I need you to do, you know?
Okay, the vaccines are working and the masks are effective.
Yeah, there you go.
Am I right? Can I retire now or no?
Checks in the mail, brother.
Sweet.
All right, here, let's go to this one here.
When I receive that check, I'll be on the next episode.
Awesome. I'm gonna hold my breath until then.
Okay.
U.S. Soccer agrees to 24 million equal pay settlement for women's team.
So, where did this 24 million go? Did it get split up between the U.S. women's soccer team? Or does the lawyer get 20 million of that, and then the 4 million gets split up between the U.S. soccer team? Because
what does this say to you? What does this say to you? They're acknowledging a pay gap?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Right? I mean, how many women's soccer players do you know?
I follow soccer, so I know
I mean,
a lot. I know a lot of them. Yeah, I follow soccer, so
you know more women than men.
I think so because the women tend to stay on the team longer than the men do.
But they're not big money makers, right?
I don't know. Not compared to the men, no.
And when we're talking about women's soccer, what are we talking about? We're talking about U.S.
The national team. This is a national team.
Right. So
it's not the women's soccer. It's not like this is the U.S. like World Cup team. Those women.
So how many women's soccer teams are there in other countries?
Oh, every country probably has one.
Oh, do they?
Well, yeah.
I ain't seen one in Saudi Arabia.
No, well, it's because they're all covered up. But Iraq has one, and they played with head coverings. They were allowed to play with head. Yep.
Wow, that would be something to see. Well, I don't follow soccer because I think it's I can't say that word anymore. It's dumb. So yeah, I don't follow soccer. So yeah, I don't know. But that's just for the average person. Like, soccer's not big in the U.S. anyway. So for the average person, this is equating to, you know, the women's pay gap in every profession. So by them agreeing to 24 million, they're basically admitting there was a pay gap. And from the beginning, I thought the whole argument was stupid.
Well, there's a big pay gap, and arguably the women have highly outperformed the men's national team on all levels. Women have won a couple World Cups. They've won a couple Olympics. Men haven't won any of that. So right, comparatively speaking,
I understand,
they're a lot better than the men. But
from what I understand, they're not drawing in the money, the crowds. It's the men that draws the crowd.
Sure, just like any sport in America right now. If you have a women's football team, high school. You got high school boys basketball and high school girls basketball. Where are more fans at?
Sure.
You got high school baseball and you got high school softball. Where are more fans at?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so for example, like you're saying is that the women produced all this. They did more, but there's more to it than just that. It's not just that they did more. If they're not entertaining, people aren't going to watch them. And who wants to watch a dominant women's team beat up on people who don't even play soccer. You know what I mean? Like, at what point is like hockey? It's like getting beat by the Canadians in hockey years ago.
They got
Like,
beat by the Canadians. They got beat by the Canadians this year.
Well, right, but we're much more competitive in hockey now. But I'm talking about, when Canada was all about hockey, that's all they do. Then why do you think it's going to be exciting to watch Canada, beat up a Kazakhstan or something? Nobody's going to watch that stuff. So even if the women are producing golds and this and that, if they dominate the sport because there really isn't much competition, it's not exciting.
People still watch the Patriots. Tom Brady was there. People watched Tampa Bay and Tom Brady was there.
Well,
still excited something.
But men's sports tend to be more exciting.
So it's okay for men's sports to beat up on somebody. That's exciting to watch. But when women's sports beat up on somebody, it's not exciting to watch.
It's just the talent level's not there. There's no women in the NBA dunking.
Because they're not in the NBA, they're in the WNBA.
That right. Yeah,
and they are dunking.
Are they now?
Not as regularly as in the men, but they have women that can dunk.
Do they? But yeah. That's what I say. I don't even watch this stuff anymore. But so that's the point. So if you go there to watch these wild dunks and stuff, you're not going to see them. It's just a more toned down game. So, but I get it. You like the women's sports better. I don't blame you. The one thing I'll take women's volleyball over anything.
Sand volleyball.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter, but yeah, women's volleyball. So, all right, that was our last one. I don't have a bad one for you because I wanted a funny one, because I wanted to give a shout out. I got I don't know how long you remember what's that.
While we're done doing topics, why don't you throw the website down there and give a shout out?
Dude, yeah, see, this is what I like you. You're all over it, man.
Go ahead, give me a shout out now. Me, someone else.
No. See, from the beginning, we've had a couple people that just been watching our show regularly, and one of which is our little buddy Johnny. I don't know if you remember Johnny. Do you remember Johnny?
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to Johnny because he's our best #1 fan, and we just want him to know we appreciate him, and we'll show you what he thinks of us. We love you, Johnny. And that is all the time we have for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming, Nate. Thanks for watching, you guys. Go to the website, pullthepinalready.com, just like it's listed below, and get involved. If you're a veteran, get on here. If you've been on here, I don't know what you're doing now because COVID's over. You can get back in front of your screen. Until then, Godspeed.
And be like Johnny, pull the pin already. Boom.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinion. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.